everyone, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have another Zelda 2 100% All Keys Tournament 2021 Round 2 match here between riiyak and TravWhite. On comms we have Aaron and Why Must You Hate Me. How are you guys doing?
Awesome, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. It's going to be fun.
All right, so we're going to start here in just a moment, but this is the quarterfinals now. We are into the final 8 players, and tonight we have our 1 seed riiyak versus our 8 seed TravWhite. To get here, TravWhite had a match just last week against Raydu that he was able to emerge victorious from. How do you feel about this race, Wymus? Do you have any thoughts before we start?
I know riiyak is super consistent from what I understand, and watching his runs, but you never know. You never know in his U2 run. Hopefully, it's a good one.
Yeah, and I think both of our runners have PB'd somewhat recently. I know Trav broke the 78 mark just a week or so ago, and I think riiyak, the same thing, not even a week ago, got his current PB, which I believe is like a 74.25. So both are playing pretty much at the top of their game, and we're going to start here in just a moment. So the drum roll, and we are underway.
Go. This D2 is hot right now, man. It's hot.
Yeah, I noticed that we had something like 27 active people in the game right now, which is crazy. Like, people who've actually PB'd and stuff, there's still more than that playing, but there are a lot of people playing right now. So it's somewhat surprising, but it's also not, because it's all key season. So you got it on the TV, you got it everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just such a fun run to watch, too. It's just the combat and everything is so exciting.
All right, now to start, a very rough start for riiyak, and he is bailing out of there. Normally you want to try to set up to get a 50p bag, which you can do frame perfect or just otherwise get lucky. Trav didn't get one, neither did riiyak, but he missed a few of the Octoroks and took a lot of damage. Be a little bit nervous for him if he doesn't get the skips here before he gets to the heart and gets the refill. Yeah, riiyak, don't die in Magic Cave. That's scary. It's not the way that you want to start your run.
Yeah, the way these top runners do that cave to me is just so fluid and awesome looking. It's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't figured it. Yeah, he got it. riiyak got it. So good. As long as he doesn't take any hits from the Griya here, he should be fine. But his experience is going to be quite off. So we'll see. There's 2 different trains of thought. Yeah, he's killing the Griya to get his experience reset to where a little closer than what it needs to be. But yeah, they're both skipping the reverse bubble. I don't think Trav does it generally. I don't think he's got that far, but considering all the stuff riiyak had to go through, I think skipping is probably the right call. We're setting up for this last skip, which isn't too tricky. And then, yeah, they're both entering P1. Trav, yeah, it looks like 203, 204. That is actually, I think riiyyak's lost about 10 seconds or so over what he normally does so far. But it's a long race. Yeah, sorry, Vaughn. We're not skipping the Griya.
So I noticed neither one of them got the P bag, but they both skipped Trophy Cave. Mm-hmm. How do they get enough XP in here to get attack 4?
Well, that's again. There's 2 trains of thought. One is don't even bother trying for it, which you can save a little bit of time by skipping a few things, but it's a little more nuanced. And the other one is you just hope to get double bag, or you hope that random enemy drops a 50. I did the math on this at some point. Like straight up getting 200 bags, you have 25% chance of that. But there's also a little bit of a chance on top of that of getting the random 50p bag from something. So yeah, there's a chance, but I would say if either of them got it out of here, I would be a little surprised. I would say the odds are weighted against that neither probably will.
Gotcha. They're neck and neck right now.
Yeah, very close race so far, and we'll see if they also like an early signal of what they're going to do is if either of them take life 2 means that they're basically abandoning attack 4 out of here. But that could be a good decision. It's faster than going after the warrior fairy, and again, the odds are something around 38%. I think if they kill enough bots, they get 2 chances. Now riiyak's drop is already off anyway, because he didn't kill enough of the small enemies to be on that count. I mean, he roasted that gorilla. He's taking a little bit of a lead now. Or excuse me, not gorilla. That was Aguma. No, and I don't know if they can do that, Vaughn, since they already missed the 50p bag before. I don't think they can clear 150 on top. But I might be wrong. I'm not going to attempt to math on stream.
Math is hard.
Yeah, riiyak carrying beams all the way down here. It does let you get through this room a little quicker, because you don't have to take the knockback from the bubbles. There we go. But neither having any problem. Oh, and riiyak found a 50p bag.
Oh, wow. That's fortunate.
So, yeah, he's got a chance now.
They're literally, it's like watching the same. They're literally in the exact same spot.
Yep, getting through the chewy, having to skip through all of these menus. It can be a little awkward because it's not quite at the same spot as you normally would see. Now, riiyak still needs to pick up 3 experience somewhere to be on track, and then still needs one of the 2 200 bags. But he's got some bots in his way here that he can clean up. We went for the real fancy beam stuff, and the bot didn't like that.
Bots being bots.
Yeah, he has to. He had to clean up the experience chosen. He did not get the 50B bag and actually survived Magic Cave, I think, with like 19 experience and slightly over 1 bar of health. It was very uncharacteristic. Here, see the first skeleton, and he does get the bag.
He set up Trav did, man.
Yeah, so Trav is closed out unless, I was gonna say, unless that bot gave him a 50. So he's gonna be thinking attack 3 the rest of the way. And he already took life 2, so he probably wasn't gonna get that anyway. But yeah, it was really good luck for riiyak, and it's gonna help to kind of rebound from the rough start. Attack 3 now, we'll probably see him do the chewy skip here. See how he does it. Yeah, he does pause strats to just walk under there. That pushes back the 50-50 drop that we'll see Trav get here on this enemy till afterward, which he got a P-bag. So yeah, he is just a little bit short, unfortunately. And a nice horse head kill from riiyak, not so nice key grab.
Big whiff.
Like to refer to that as the key boss. And so yeah, not a good sign for Trav, who would need to either have the run of his life or some help from riiyak to really push this race. And for him to be an attack level below coming out is going to make this even more challenging. Alright, now, exiting through Propa Cave, we're going to head back to get the Trophy Cave, which, again, yeah, I think you mentioned why most possibly getting this bag is a way to alleviate missing the other bag, but it does screw up the manips that these players have set up for encounter skips out of here. Plus, like, if you look over on Trav's screen, the experience is nice when you start out at Attack 3. There's all things even, like 43 experience, although he's skipping the Korea, so that's 20 experience he's leaving there.
since I imagine runners are pretty experienced with attack 3, you know, for races, it probably happens a good amount. Hopefully it doesn't, but I'm sure it happens a good amount.
Yeah.
With attack 3, you just basically level all the way up to 4, right, and skip some magic and life levels.
Right, and I think the way you'll see this anyway, riiyak will take a life 2, but he's probably not taking magic 2, and I think he skips life 3 as well. So you probably won't see any differentiation from what we already have. Trav will stick with 1 and 2, unless he's really worried about Death Mountain and goes life 3, but I think he normally does life 2 now as well.
Gotcha.
And yeah, the distance and time, you bleed a little bit in Death Mountain, but P2 tends to be where the lack of level hurts the most. And yeah, what we're looking at lengthwise, again, riiyyak's PB is a 74.25, and Trav has a 77.58. Race time tends to run a little high depending on how good you are. So like getting a sub 75 in a race is insane. It's only happened like a handful of times.
Yeah, racing is definitely very different from PB attempts. Things can go, you never know how they're going to go, and you got to, you know, change it up and figure things out on the fly.
Right. And this isn't a randomizer run. There's not a whole lot of RNG that seriously disrupts the run. Like, we're just watching riiyak right now do encounter dodges, and there's a lot of RNG right there, what we call the Bagoo walk. But there's ways to manipulate around the worst of it. We see he gets to Bagoo without any encounters, so that's the dream.
There's a nice little dodge there at the end.
Yeah, he took the one extra step to make sure that the encounter disappeared, which is definitely advanced tech. I never remember to even think about doing that. Trav also gets a clean Bagoo walk.
Yeah, it's so close. I mean, he's just right behind him.
Yeah. At the tier that these runners are, again, this is our quarterfinals. These are the top 8 players left in the tournament. And at their level, encounter skips on the overworld are extraordinarily important. Yeah, despite the leveling not being in Trav's favor, he is having a very solid start to this race. Whereas riiyak stumbled a bit and he's kind of leveled out now.
Or in every encounter, what? It's like 6 seconds or so?
Yeah, it depends a little bit because some of them end up causing more encounters.
Yeah.
Any of the stretches that you have, you really aim for just at least skip the first one. Because if you get the first one, then it's basically ruined, and all of the timing is off for everything else. Especially that Bagoo walk, if you get an encounter before you touch the swamp, you're in trouble. It's really, it's really hard to dodge things in the swamp.
A domino effect.
Yeah. So, I won't be surprised to see Trav duck in here to the magic person. riiyak did the same thing. If you're going at magic 1 life 2, it's really a good idea to have those bars maxed out before you hit Death Mountain. And the reason why they do this is so you can skip more enemies in P2 if you're riiyak. If you're Trav, you're doing it because you need every last bit of last bit of experience to make sure that you get to attack 5 by the end of P2, or before you get the gem. And that's Zelda 2 for you. There's a whole lot of experience management. There's enemies you'll skip, enemies you'll fight entirely because it's what lines up best for you to skip other enemies and to dodge things.
Absolutely per Zelda game, lots of numbers and counting and woohoo.
Yeah, and it's not quite the 10 counts that you'll see in Zelda 1, but we have 6 counts on small enemies and 6 counts on large enemies, and then there's also enemies that don't fit in either category, and knowing the differences between them is pretty important. There's all sorts of things to keep track of if you really want to. Most people don't keep track of the small counts, but I think riiyak does.
What are some of the enemies that do not count for either of the two counts, small and large?
Just about anything you see in Grand Palace, with the exception of the small ones. The Muse, the floating heads, and the ropes, they count, but the Fakaroos, the spicy chickens, and the Fakas, they do not. The blue IKs don't count. Basically, anything that is really high in experience doesn't count. Like the blue lizards also don't count because they're 150. Yeah, Doom Knockers also, they're only 100, but blue enemies might be a cheap way of putting it, but the bots do count, so. Yeah, and for the most part, small enemies are anything that's under a certain experience point. Like, I think anything under 30 for the most part is a light enemy. Because at 30 you get skeletons, which are large, and you get what's the other one I'm thinking of? The blue gorillas, which are heavies, but the red gorillas and the orange gorillas are small for whatever reason.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw a blue jar from that orange gorilla on the way at the Coast Heart. I was like, what? Like, what? That's big. That's not small. Why'd that happen? But
it's a little annoying. Nice kill from Trav there. I love that. If you can't do the beam rep, which some people do, the just letting the beam shoot out as you jump up and then falling down at the same time as the beam and getting the double hit. It's wonderful. And the way this game works, enemies don't have iframes, but your weapon acts as the iframes. So as long as your weapon is still in the process of attacking, with one attack, it won't hit the enemy again. But you can, like, switch directions and swing back, and you can do it. Yeah, 1542 hammer is still very legitimate time. He's done a lot better than that, but there's a ton of people who would be real thirsty for that sort of run.
So much interesting tech in this game. I love it.
Yeah, Trav did get his attack 4, but if you look at the experience between the two, he's had a little bit better bag luck, but he's still 800 behind. That's 800 experience less of enemies that riiyak's going to have to fight in P2, and you will see the difference after a while. But from now until they get there, they should basically be running the same. It's all about encounter skips and how well they handle some of the screens. Oh yeah, Trav is having a very good run. This is not bad at all. He didn't get the attack 3 luck. He didn't get the bag, and that helped. And he didn't get the lucky bag that riiyak did in PB1, which again, it's a 1 in 8 chance from any enemy. So the fact that he didn't get the small drop in the magic cave, like he didn't kill so many enemies that drop actually carried over to P1. And when he got it, he just happened to get the 1 in 8.
So what's he, about a minute behind right now we're looking at, Travis? Give or take?
It's a little bit less than that, but yeah, that's about right. Well, we'll see. There's 3 different walks that are coming up here. Well, really 4 if you want to parse it ultra tight. And 3 out of the 4 aren't too bad. The one that riiyak's doing right now, called Boulder Dash, he got the alternate tile there. This will help manipulate the rest of the walk that he should be able to get to Medicine Cave with no problem. Unless he gets like a fairy spawn. Which he did, but it looks like it still kind of behaved. So, yeah, and he does a minute there. He pulls an encounter before he gets to the desert, at past the graveyard, which some people do, some people don't. It does reduce the odds of getting a bad encounter spawn afterward, but it also means you might get a bad encounter spawn before, so. Yeah, right now these are both actually on their intended levels, but Trav did not get attack 4 out of P1, so he's quite a bit experienced behind. Yeah, you see the encounters for Trav, pretty much the same thing. Double spawn right there at the end. Very easily handled. riiyak carrying beams through all of this stuff post-DM is very important. This screen can be lethal if you end up getting knocked around once and you don't have beams and suddenly everything is running right at you. Yeah, and you see the little manip that reacted to, just low enough to cause the spawn to appear in grass instead of forest. There's really nothing you can do about that last one though, you're just hoping that it's either a fairy in front of you or you get a back spawn. There's probably some way to manipulate it, but I don't think anyone seriously tries because it's just a half encounter on the road. It's not going to cause anything else to mess up afterward.
And the half counter is what, 2 or 3 seconds? Something like that?
Yeah. You prefer it not to happen, but it's not the worst thing in the world because it's at the end of a run sequence. Like, you see Trav doing the same thing. Drops down to that one grass square, so that encounter starts while he's on grass.
Is cheesecake a pie chosen? If so, it's definitely cheesecake.
Hey Trav, how you doing?
Type in while racing. That's cool.
Well, he's in town. There's not a whole lot you can do with
Yeah, I
him.
guess that's fair. That's fair.
This is the bring up some random stuff to talk about period of the run because we're just talking to a bunch of people.
8-bit says key lime. Okay, I can dig it.
I do think, is this like the third time that this has been brought up? Like in Mido, it's just a thing you gotta bring up pie. I love it.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny, Blonde.
Alright.
Don't worry, reaction will.
So we just thought riiyak had some bad luck there. He ended up catching an encounter on the road. It's usually dodgeable, but you gotta kind of be real careful about the way they move, and sometimes they're just a carrot. But again, the road encounter, it's more about not getting the encounter after. Interesting is riiyyak's count is... Oh, he never fixed his count after P1, so his next drop will be a large one. Normally that blue gorilla is a 50-50 drop, which can be good because you can get a red jar and then be able to ferry the heart that's in the next cave and save 3 seconds.
How much time does ferrying the heart save? A second or two? Or not even?
It's about 3 seconds.
Oh, really?
It's not insignificant, but
Not at all, yeah.
it's more like, oh, that's nice, I can do this. And if you can't, you're just like, oh, I can't. So the walk that riiyyak's doing is probably the hardest walk of this whole bunch to manipulate fully. It's really hard to not get any encounters, and he got one, so. I don't think we were allowed to bring up trails until the Goomba fight. I think when we start fighting Goomba there in P5, then we can bring up trails. Oh man, Trav, double fairy encounters, jukes out the first one, and then the second one runs into it. So he's already an encounter and a half, and he's not even at the halfway point this walk. If he's able to clear the rest of this, it's going to be pretty awesome on his part. But yeah, you hate to see it when the computer does not cooperate. There's the bad RNG we were talking about, or we weren't talking about, I suppose. Yeah, 3.5 encounters on something that you could normally get 1.5, sometimes can get 0. That's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it's rough. It's unlucky. From what I understand, fairies are random, right? That's why you don't want fairies in the overworld, because you can't predict their movements.
Right. Other enemies have sort of a logic to them, and you kind of figure it out. Fairies apparently are 50%, they're like equal odds to move towards you or away or something like that. So sometimes they'll just run straight out of the screen, and you might want to run into one, and other times they're going to run right into you no matter what you want to do, and it's difficult to manipulate. And looking at the experience, Trav has quite a lot to catch up on. He's going to have to hope for some bag luck to really kind of bring him in and not have to worry too much about killing every last thing. Riiyak, on the other hand, is just fine. He can pretty much pick and choose what enemies he wants to fight from here on out. With their stats the way they are, with the life and magic leveling, he only needs 1950 experience before you fight the boss. He's certainly going to take attack 5 before that because it saves time on the boss, but Trav, on the other hand, has the same goal, and we might see him have to kind of squeeze up into that if things don't drop well for him.
And for all the misfortune that Trav's had, he's not far behind. I mean, this is still a race.
Oh yeah, again, his pace is actually very good. For him, Riiyak has actually just after what was a pretty bad start for him, is really leveled out and is playing exactly how you would expect Riiyak to play. Oof. Block room was a little mean. I wouldn't quite call that a middle finger, but alright, yeah, both got through the lava room clean. Riiyak ferrying the glove. Again, it saves a few seconds. Yeah, that was Freeyak, I suppose.
So Aaron, do you want to explain why some people ferry through that room and some don't? What are the advantages and disadvantages?
Well,
Block bridge.
You really don't want to ferry, at least at the start, if you're short on experience. If you've taken a bunch of hits, you might need that magic for life, but otherwise there's really nothing else you need to cast magic for in this palace. So it's a matter of confidence. And he gets a red jar, so Trav will probably fight the red IKs and then ferry it. I think he's still on his mind to do it, but he's going to fight the enemies there to get the experience. Riiyak missed getting the eyeball out of the way, so it made it really difficult for him to dodge those enemies. Trav took a little bop there. But yeah, he gets it, and then he immediately ferries. The optimal strat for casting fairy is to do it basically the same frame you grab the item, because it stops your momentum, and you get to do it like the first frame that you hit the item. But if you're not doing it on the first frame, then you're kind of losing time. And it's really easy to overshoot items when you're a fairy. Or to undershoot them, like bolt before you get to it. As long as Trav pretty much kills everything, he's fine experience-wise. I don't think this is a scenario where we're going to be worried about him not getting attack 6 out of here, especially with that bag. That bag pretty much guarantees it at this point. There we go again. We're going to see Riiyak just kind of coast to the end. Trav's skipping the stuff he knows he doesn't need. Since he just saw that bag drop, he knows he's got 50 experience in his way in this next screen. He's got the Chewy he could kill. And then this last room that we see Riiyak in has 220 experience combined, so he's fine.
And I hear nobody dies to Helmet Head, right? That's not a thing. It's not possible.
I have never seen it happen. You have to be a little careful. Trav's life is a bit scary. He might be hoping, he might see him kill a few more things than he needs to do, hoping for another jar drop. But yeah, if he kills everything that's left, he has another shot at one. Yeah, he'd have to kill everything left, and we'll see if he does it or not. He might not due to the time loss, but Helmet Head is, again, not exactly the scariest boss. It's hard to avoid taking one hit from it, but yeah, now he's skipping stuff, so. There's a difference between dodging a skeleton, which is like the easiest thing. Oh, he doesn't know what his count is. Yeah, he needed that other enemy. That's fine, just don't die to Helmet Head and you're cool. Well, look at that. No problem.
Easy
peasy. We both said the same thing, that's great.
They both skip shield, right? They're both doing late shield.
Yep. I think the only people in the tournament who did early shield were me and JLo, and I don't even know if JLo did it or not.
For the advantages for late shield, it's the walk to P3, right?
Yep. The disadvantage is not being able to cast shield and then dying like an idiot in P1. I'm currently in that category still. I don't want to be like die in P1 like an idiot. So, but it's only if you get the walk, because what it does is it normalizes the walk once you get to the road, like we see where Trav is now. If you go directly to P3, you have to go through various different encounters that you have to kind of manage. Where here, oh man, he had terrible luck getting out of there. I think that was 2 full encounters and 2 half encounters.
Yeah, the game is not treating Trav super nice.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at his splits, like he is running very well according to what he's capable of, but he's ate tons of encounters. So it's kind of crazy. Like he's actually playing the game extraordinarily well, and just the 1/3 of the game that's dodging stuff in the overworld isn't going his way.
But still, anything can happen. He's still not too far behind.
No. Never know. I think what you'd want to be, even if you're, minutes behind, the thing you'd be thinking is, all right, I got to be within GP distance, because what happens if they screw up and die in GP? Then I got a shot. Like, even if it gets to that point, which it isn't yet. I appreciate riiyak casting jump in that room.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. That's the first time I've seen that. That's interesting. Makes sense.
That skeleton can just be annoying. But you still have to kind of manage what your magic is going to be at. Looks like he's planning on either not fairing the raft or getting magic 3 before he does, and then not worrying about the magic after that. And he still has enough magic to cast in the bot lava room, which I was thinking about it. There's basically a bot lava room in every palace. Although I don't think we see the one in GP in the run, and the other ones just look a little different. Oh! What are you doing down there, riiyak?
Oh, I hate that jump. Oh, no.
And because he cast jump before, now he has to cast it there again. I'm sure that's exactly what was going on in his head.
Oh, those jumps are the worst.
But he got a jar, and so that works out just fine for him. And yeah, we see them both at 623. That's the desired levels. Usually coming in, that's what you'll see most people do if they haven't tweaked it in some fancy way. He will probably take Magic 3 here in just a little bit. But now he's in a situation where he can cast Fairy before he has to take it instead of afterward. So now he's not, since he cast Jump, so never mind.
Yeah, typically you want to leave 3 at what, 7-3-3?
Yep, that's the standard route. There's some people who do different things, like Schmitty in chat. I know he sometimes does 6-2-4, and I think, oh, he did not, I guess he couldn't have cast Fairy before, that's right. Trails has done the same thing when I've seen him do 100% all keys, like a decade ago or something. But the reason for doing it would be greater magic levels in P4, or before P4. I think specifically, and Schmitty can correct me since I'm talking about him and he's in chat, but I think he does it so he gets an extra fairy cast before P4 because of the one maze encounter that you have to do, which is just really annoying. Oh look!
Yeah, that would make sense.
There we go. A Scorpion Max strat. Thank you, old timers.
They call this the Minecraft room? That's the name, right?
Yes, because the room sucks like Minecraft. I see Trav got Magic 3 a little bit early, but he's still going to do the same thing. It's a little scary when you've taken some bops, but there is I believe Lordo's calling it the Forever Man instead of the Never Jar. To be optimistic about it, or to tempt the game into ruining his joke, which would probably be just fine for him. Alright, yeah, experience-wise, riiyak is right on the ball, 402. Trav's got a little bit to go, but he's got plenty of enemies to fight between now and then, so he shouldn't be a problem. But his life is a little scary. He can take like 2 hits from Revo, depending on what actually hits him. If I remember right, Revo's beams hit the worst. And yeah, we see riiyak corner strats, just mows him down. He couldn't keep him in the corner, but that's fine. He knows how to fight that guy. He doesn't have to bounce on his head. And there we go, P3 clear. It looks like it was at 3540. And we can kind of measure where Trav is out of here. And it looks like it's going to be about 1.5 minutes, I think. There were a few rough parts there, but I think riiyak for most parts just fine. Still cruising along. It should be a very good run. This continues along.
Yeah, the consistency from both these guys is crazy. This game is not easy.
Mm-hmm. Again, Trav is playing really good. He's just had bad encounter luck, and you don't want to say luck too hard when it comes to this game because there's so many patches of RNG that you can sort of manage. But for an attack 3 run to be anywhere close to PB base is pretty hot.
Absolutely.
Oh, and he's having fun with Rebo too. Yeah, he can take 1 more. Now he can take 0 more hits. So look at that. 1. Yeah, you don't need any more hit points than that. That's plenty.
He clutched it out, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, riiyak with a nice walk.
This is one of those where you say, well, he's losing time on the next split because he had to sit here and wait for all of his health to come back. That was an interesting dodge. Alright, so riiyak's in the next set of walks. Generally speaking, the walks until you get to this guy aren't too bad, and then you have Dazzle, which isn't super bad, but can be tricky, and then the reverse walk, or the LZAD, or the reverse Dazzle, or whatever you want to call it. That's where things get to be challenging more often than not. Alright, yeah, what riiyak's doing is pretty classic. We'll see Trav walk a few steps, burn some stuff, get that encounter out of the way, get this encounter a little early. Meanwhile, riiyak getting to the first encounter space, no problem.
So we got the 3 stabs to ensure he gets the incoming encounter, or what do you got? whatever you call it.
I think the stabs are basically a timing buffer, and I believe, well, we've seen people they do 4 standing stabs or 3 standing and 1 crouch stab. Not everyone does the crouch stab. Oh, riiyak gets the graphical glitch, and we have almost Dark Link up there on the screen, Blue Link. And yeah, there was a minute 23 based off of their splits, leaving P3. And yeah, that's an area where you really want the encounters to home in on you, because you need them for that skip. But yeah, very good encounter management from riiyak in this run overall. I can only think of like the one bad encounter he got on the road, and it wasn't even really a bad one. It was just bad luck from the way the encounters moved. Let's see if Trav is able to get the dazzle walk here as well. Alright, the fairy behaved, the encounters didn't encroach, and
Did he get the input? I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure he did. He did not.
Oh man.
Yeah, those were some angry looking stabs. Now he has to be careful here because at life 3 you can take just 1 or just 2 hits from the levers. And he's already taken 1. But nope, no problem. He's in and out. So he lost a little bit of time because he ate another, or he had to go through 1 extra encounter screen. So basically, he got an encounter just because he missed that 1 minute.
Yeah, Trav's probably lost, what, 30, 40 seconds and encounters alone to riiyak in this run.
Oh, he goes for the bright white link there. Oh yeah, if I joked that at some point, if anyone ever bothers to track for Zelda 2, encounters will be a thing. Yeah, the encounter stuff is different. Trav just likes stabbing. All right.
Just like stabbing.
Sorry for inferring that looked angry. Oh, and the nice back spawn from riiyak. Clean Elzad walk.
They did look like angry stabs, I agree.
I would be angry. And there we go. Gets the fairy on the magic. Again, saves about 3 seconds, and since you get a magic refill anyway, you might as well. Also, if you had some bad encounters and take some bops, you could cast life once or twice before you get that, instead of the fairy. Or maybe just once. Forget how much that thing costs. Nice tink.
So, Aaron, do people normally take all the death abuses in 4 and races, or do they skip some to be safe? Or depend?
I think we will see riiyak take all of them, because that's standard. I think most of at the top end, they tend to, unless they've already died once, because they still have an extra death. It really just comes down to how comfortable you're doing GP without an extra life. Because the way the game normally works, the amount of lives people... Oh my gosh, Trav. Come on. You're scaring me. Yeah, nobody has taken a death yet. We are death-free. The death-free class of 2021. And...
Trav's getting all the fairies again, man.
He's having some fun. Yeah, he's having some fun encounters. Let's see, can he get... Okay, he got the last. If we see anybody skip anything, it'll be right now, because the first of the 3 death abuses in P4 is the one that people normally skip. If they're gonna skip it. Yeah. And riiyak, yeah. So I doubt he's going to.
Yeah, lava bath.
And yeah, Trav chose to cast life instead of fairy to just that's the just to make sure strat, which is if you've taken over 3 hearts of damage, which he already had, that makes sense.
How much time do either of those or all those death abuses? What, like 5, 6 seconds, something like that? Obviously, you need magic for some of them, but
I think it's less than 4 seconds.
is
But
it
the reason for doing it is mostly the magic refill.
magic? Right. Yeah.
Like the fact that riiyak did that allowed him to cast Fairy to Fairy the boots, so that's another 3 seconds on top of that. And then otherwise there just aren't really other places to plan for it. These are the most efficient ones. It's like 3.8 or something, because I think the Med Cave one is like 3.3. But the reason why you would take the Death Abuse in the Medicine Cave is so you can not have to take a magic refill when you get into Mido, for the most part. P4 is over 4. Okay. I trust Lordo. He's actually, timed these things. I'm just going off what other people say.
Yeah, because if you get low on magic, going to you have to what 2 or 3 houses over, then come back. So that probably lose you 5 to 6 seconds easy.
I think it's even more than that. It's pretty bad. So, just to make a general comment, it looks like riiyak is on run number 5,255, and he's got a gold split on his walk from Reflect down to P4. So,
Oh wow! Yeah, look at that.
that don't happen every day. So Trav got the jar, chose to not take the Death Abuse. He's probably saving a life just in case. Because he'll want, just in case things in GP go bad, or in case a VOD decides to be terrible, it's a good idea to save an extra life.
That's probably a smart move.
So he takes Fairy again. The fact that he got that jar allowed him to do that. The 50-50 at the back of the room is a pretty big gamble, and sometimes you end up falling into the fire, hitting it, or taking a bunch of damage anyway. Since you already have jump cast, it's kind of gross to fight red IKs with jump. It can be a little awkward. I think if you're thinking about it that way, Lost Lands, it's more, there's only one life that I think anybody would reasonably skip, and that's the one outside of Medicine Cave. And it would be a little bit, like, it sets up the manip really well, so I think that's the reason both of the extra lives that people get in the run actually help the manipulations after them. So I don't think you can take that time into consideration, because I don't think people would skip them. Because it'll screw up the manipulations afterward that they would gladly waste, the 3 seconds for the item grab to do. At least that's the way I would frame it. I'm not sure if anyone else would think about it differently. Alright, that's our third and last Death Abuse from riiyak. He has 2 lives left. He'll probably ride those all the way into GP if he can. There's always some, nonsense that can happen, but... There are other extra lives, but at this level, nobody really gets them. Unless somebody had a really rough path up to Death Mountain and might take the one that's right outside of it. The extra life that's in the swamp past P5 isn't really appealing, except as a sort of emergency thing that somebody with a slower time might take. What other extra lives are there? There's the Attack 9 extra life.
The two that everybody get, right, are the one after the maze, and then the one after getting the child, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the P6 extra life, which normally if you're doing that, you're dying right after you get it. Like, that's a refill. Because you have to get through a blue IK and 2 very fast bubbles, and you're getting the... Oh my gosh, what's going on, riiyak? This is a very, very bad... There we go.
Speaking of angry sword stabs, those are some angry ones right there.
Yeah, he's not happy about that. That was a very bad Karok fight, and nothing that he particularly did there. That was just terrible RNG. There's ways to manipulate that have been found, but they aren't speedrun useful.
Yeah, I know there's some stuff for damage list that Slackinator's been doing that you could walk in and out like 3 or 4 times and figure some stuff out, but it doesn't really come in handy in a speedrun.
No. Let's see. Yeah, Trav's not even bothering with the jar check there. He's missing life and magic, and he's pulling 3 lives out of P4. That is, that's pretty much what anybody short of, again, the absolute top tier 74 players are going to be wanting to do, just in case something goes haywire somewhere.
So, Aaron, with Karok, what are the time differences, the possibles from low to high? How big is the swing?
I don't know, but I would say just looking at riiyak splits, he had a pretty good P4. He misses Eco Key, that's kind of gross. But yeah, he lost, what is that, about 9 seconds in that palace on average. So I would say that Karok was at least 9 seconds slow. But that's just
30 seconds. Lordo says 10 to 30. That seems about right. That's crazy. It's what do you do?
And he probably lost more time because of the Eco Key right there. At least stuff they can manage. That's the thing that's scary about that for other players, is doing that strat. Cast the difference between, because you have to kind of look at 3 different things, like how much time does Eco Key save versus just casting Fairy and going back for the key, but then how much time does it save versus trying it, failing it, then having to go back and Fairy.
Yeah. Well, Trav had a pretty good Karok.
Yep, there was nothing unusual there. And, he was up there and he fell. riiyak has a history with this room. I've seen him lose multiple PB runs because of this room.
That's a lot of RNG too, right? You're kind of just praying.
Yeah. And there's some things you can do, but it's really hard to plan around and you don't have a whole lot of time. Yeah, there was a lot of time lost going into P4, but it looks like Trav is again on a pretty good pace. Actually, their times out of P4 are 1 minute 30, so he didn't really lose a whole lot. And let's see if he gets Eco Key here. No, he did not. Sorry, Trav, I shouldn't have said anything until after you did it.
We'll still keep it interesting, because anything can happen here.
Yeah. Just getting Eco Key versus failing it and having to go back is something like 15 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
It's significant. And that would have been a nice little time save versus riiyak. Pull this race a little closer. Now he's going to have to hope for a jar. I don't know. I'm assuming his drops are set up. If not, he'll have to kill some things. No. He got the bag, which means he'll have to kill one of the Magos in the next room. Which...
It's not blood magic, yeah.
It's not super bad, but it just depends on what they decide to do. Alright, he got one. The Mago manip when you just bounce on top of the bubble. No, you didn't have to do that. You just got one though.
Nice block.
Alright. Much nicer block room for Trav. He's taking a few bops, but he's gonna get a full magic refill here. Maybe, yep, there we go. And that puts him in a position to cast life if he wants. And yeah, otherwise he's still got enough magic for jump. He might choose to go right at the junction. We saw riiyak go down first to get the flute. There's the main reason why you would go right instead of down is if you're lowish on magic, which he won't have enough to ferry the flute, so he might choose to do that. But then he also just might not, so he's not, confused about what to do.
Yeah, Travis not falling off his PB means a really good run.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens outside of P5 because it's the fact that he missed Eco Key. I'm pretty sure he got that in his PB, so he's gonna feel that a little bit. But this isn't, nothing close to a bad run for Trav. Some bad RNG and some bad luck, and he's kind of pushing through pretty well in the dungeons. Yeah, he's just gonna forsake ferrying that. Yeah, he's just a little bit short. Yeah, that statue doesn't give you a jar anyway, so. Nope, and he got a P bag. If that was a jar, I bet he would have went back and got it. Oh yeah, he knocked him out, which is, you can just downstab the guy if you're underneath that awning, but since he knocked him back, it made it a little more rough, which I'm sure is entirely... Oh no, he's trying for this. Maybe there isn't. There is a jar there? There is. Alright. Just yet another magic refill in P5. That's full of them if you try really hard. And experience-wise, you see that Trav skipped that bag. You really don't want to get too much experience in here. You can withstand having a little bit more than the 1200 you need at the end of the level. Like, riiyak is going to be a little high too, but you start hitting to where it gets closer to that 2000 number when you finish, that's really rough, and you might not be able to do the leveling in the heart container room like you normally would.
So leveling up in the town versus elsewhere, how much time does that save approximately? Do you have any idea?
It's about a second for each one, which means it's about 4 seconds, I think.
Well, that's substantial.
It's just really annoying because if you don't, then it just makes the decisions you have to make in that screen complicated, I suppose. Alright, Goomba time. Let's see if we'll get a Trails-worthy fight. Now, that was a very standard, very solid fight by riiyak. He resisted the urge to stab Goomba in the butt, and
that's a nice Goomba.
Yeah, it's very common for people to just continue stabbing the guy. I think he took one bop, but that seems to be how it normally goes.
That's probably my least favorite boss for sure in this game. I hate that thing. Oh man.
I put him in the same category as Helmet Head, where if you don't go crazy, he's pretty easy.
Alright, well, you need to teach me.
I think there's a clip floating around. I think Chosen has a tutorial about how to fight Goomba. I would suggest that first. Alright, yeah, you hear that the difference in the town is the little noise it makes is just a different, and it plays faster, and it's shorter, and it's just a little quicker. Little thing. You see Trav, he's going for the low stabs on the IK, pretty standard. He's got exactly the amount of experience he needs, +2. So he could... Okay, he's really trying to break the blocks, and he keeps running into them and stopping.
Oh, poor Trav.
You just gotta... He's just going kamikaze there. You know what I said about the Eco Key thing? I think he missed it. Well, you know what? His splits might not be, Yeah, never mind. I'm making the mistake looking at Trav's splits, and, forgetting that he's actually comparing to average splits and not his PB. It looks like it's his PB, but it's a lie.
Oh, Travis compared versus average too?
Yep.
Oh.
He just has it set up real funny that it doesn't quite show the way you would expect. That doesn't mean he's doing bad or anything at all.
A little bit of a clench there.
Yeah, you beat Go, that's all that matters. He could go for the life cast here to even out his level after, but chooses not to. The slow fairy selection.
Chosen. That's mean.
Alright, and riiyak is now in... Of the various walks, this one is probably the most annoying because you can lose a PB run here this late in the game to the stupid walk. The new Kasuda walk. And he's going for bridge dive. This is the standard, what most people do. One block into the swamp, dodge the first encounter, and then hope that the second one doesn't, you know, work out bad, and it doesn't. So he gets every part of this correct. Although we still have one part to go, one very important part. And he gets the bag, which is not what you wanted, unfortunately. But that's okay, it's only a couple of seconds difference, and it's really hard to control, so...
He has to stop for magic now, that's where he loses a couple seconds.
Yeah. But... Run doesn't count, he needs you. Yep. That's alright. And we got dual townage, as Trav's getting the fire spell, he's already got his levels correct. And we'll be starting on his own Kasuda walk here in just a moment. Now, what is that? Look at that split. New Kasuda, plus 0.6 to gold for riiyak, so excellent walk. And there's a couple of encounters you gotta dodge outside of here, which can be equally problematic, but I think these guys have a decent manip for it.
Alright, we need a good pose here from riiyak. Riiyak, we need to make sure.
I don't know, does he even do the pose? The new thing now is to not, and to just try to walk directly into it, because apparently you can save a frame or something.
And the pose is worth the frame, man. Oh, no, yeah. It's not gonna
Yeah, he's going for straight up party pooper. Like, he just walked in the door and shot off the fireworks the second he walked in the door.
This is 10 out of 10.
Excuse me. Trav, however, he missed the first encounter skip, but went back and got it. It's still faster if you get it the second time than if you don't try. But, if you miss it, then it's not. Alright, let's see how he sets up after this, too. He's taking the early stabs. This looks like the modified dude walk. Although, if he gets no encounters, I believe it suddenly becomes the Lordo walk.
So the stabs set up the walk here?
Yeah, he takes the swamp, and then he gets a forest one that does not home on him, which is very good, because he would have been dead meat, considering where they spawned. Another random one, and that is it.
Great.
So.
Look at that.
Nice. And that is slightly faster than the bridge duck. Just very, very slightly faster. Like, maybe not even a second. But, and he gets a bag as well. Looks like, our healer lady in New Kasuda is very much needed today. Lordo says it's 2.5. Alright.
2.5 faster. That's...
I believe in Lordo and his math.
I think Lordo knows a little bit about this game, possibly.
I think he's played it before.
Yeah, a couple times, maybe.
There we go. Those were very nice slinks. That entire walk out is just well-timed slinkage, and he gets it. I don't know where Trav's going. I think he got distracted by chat and walked right into the corner.
Nobody's ever done that before.
He was excited about riiyak slink.
He was born in Canada today.
Now we don't talk about Canada in this stream.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? Was that boost intentional?
Yes. Yep, that is a. If you want to preserve your magic, that's a good one. People who are trying to get through all of P6 without having to get a jar tend to attempt that. I've done it before. It's not that tricky, but occasionally the beams will not work out for you, and you have to compensate for it a little bit. So there is a little bit more skill than just jumping up and hoping the beam is underneath you.
That's cool.
Alright, stabs the eyeball. Some people will not even cast jump here and they'll just jump this normally. Which isn't really that hard if you figure out the spots to do it. But, you know, the penalty for failing is immense shame.
There's only a pixel or two you can jump on to get those jumps without jumps, correct?
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's you know, 4 tiles or whatever. Like, to put it in perspective, if riiyak would have fallen there, he would still be winning the race, but it would suddenly be very close. Because it's, I think, over a minute, or almost a minute time loss. Something like that.
Nice, Chosen. Thank you. I'll check it out. That was cool. I've never seen that before just there. I've never seen that little boost.
Yeah. Oh! And riiyak did try, and did
he got right back up.
Yeah.
That was kind of sexy. I don't know how he got back up that fast.
Okay. And yeah, it's a rhythmic thing, and I know there's a way to do it. I just noticed Trav didn't get the first skip. He got the second encounter too. Really, if you get the first one, it's so hard to dodge the second. A lot of times, especially if you're not top tier like these guys are, you're just hoping I get to the second encounter before I get one, because then maybe I can get to the heart without taking another one. riiyak passing up on fire strats because he did not get a jar. Oh, there's jar. No, we're not going to talk about that till it happens. Yeah, Trav, I'm pretty sure, is going to do this in the simplest and most straightforward way. For reasons that have nothing to do with the hole being named after him. Oh yeah, he's actually practiced jumpless, but not today. He did not bother with that.
I feel like straps like that and PBs are okay, but in races, that'd be scary.
Yeah, really the jumps are not too bad. You just have to practice them and know exactly when to jump. Last year when I was doing all keys for the tournament, I was practicing P6 without casting jump and was able to do it on a couple of occasions. And I was an 84 runner last year, so it's just a matter of practicing it. Also, if you're an 84 runner, you probably shouldn't work on that. You should work on better things.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. So yeah, Trav's used 3 bars of magic already. He kind of needs a jar at this point. He's a little bit jar starved. And that's the difference. That's the reason why riiyak does the things he did, so that he didn't get a jar and he's leaving. He's got enough magic for a jump cast here on which I believe he does yeah, he does the jumping jackhammer. No, he does the safe one cycle barba fight.
The jackhammer is the fastest, but also pretty dangerous, if I'm correct, right?
Trav is going for the jar, but I think he jumped a little late. That time he jumped really late. Let's see. There, he got it. As I like to point out, I am pretty sure that is something that you can do frame perfect and always get that. So he did fairy the cross, knowing he was going to need a jar anyway. It took him a couple of attempts, so he probably equaled out the time that it gave him, but he needed a jar anyway. I don't think he had any desire to go through the rest of this without magic.
So what's the advantage of stabbing that statue the way he did? Is it more likely to get a jar?
Yes and no. As I kind of mentioned a minute ago, I think that there is a frame perfect way of doing it. I've practiced it a little bit, and I know Chroma's been doing it a little bit too. Although I don't think anyone cares that much about that of the other runners. The other thing is that if it isn't it, you can just reset the room really quickly that way, rather than having to.
That makes sense.
So, and to kind of recap the race, Trav left P1 at attack 3 instead of attack 4, which riiyak did. Riiyak had an extraordinarily bad start. Like we were worried he might take a death before he even got to P1, and kind of leveled it out pretty well after that. And really, it's just been riiyak for the most part has had excellent encounter dodges. I can't think of a time where he's had any real encounter issues. Heck, Trav's had the opposite. He's had, I think he's in double digits unwanted encounters. I'll leave that up to you, Michael Foltz. He knows. He's actually paying attention. I think he's in chat. Just in case he got bored or something during his race.
He's had some pretty bad luck with encounters, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think.
That is true. He did do that, I think, last race, but managed to survive it. And he took life, too, in P1 this time, but he did it on purpose. Because he missed the magic bag, and just assumed he wasn't going to get lucky and get double bags, which he didn't. So. Or did he? No, he didn't. He got one bag, so he was still like 30 experience short of what he needed. Oh yeah, it was magic too. The one that's even worse than life too. Now we see riiyak is pretty much cruising through VOD. I think he threw up a spell cast on something. Or maybe that was life at some point, I didn't notice it. But yeah, this experience, he's going to be 1 kill away from level. So we'll see him pretty much skip everything and push that magic 8 as far back as he can. Yeah, it looks like it's 2.5 minutes. And a lot of that was the Kasuto walk, which riiyak did almost perfectly. And Trav, I don't know, Trav's, his walk was good too. It was the walk after that was rough. Yeah, this is basically just skill right now. Riiyak is just hitting everything super good. Like, all of his splits, with the exception of P5, where he missed Eco Key, are really, really hot. And of course, Karok, which was laughably bad, but you can't blame him for that. And again, riiyyak's one of the favorites for this tournament. He's the #1 seed. He's the 2-time defending runner-up. I'm glad you had time to type that out, Trav.
I know, how is he typing on that? Oh my god.
He just has it in copy and paste at all times. That's true. We'll see how his VOD walk goes too. It looks like he's gonna ferry at the start, so he's gonna go for the jar. And we'll see if he tries the walk VOD. It's easier, I think, doing the beam strats in VOD than it is these stupid bridges. So I totally get that, because those bridges are the devil. I don't think you could cast spell on the bridge. I think all the enemies would get spelled, but I think the Bagos would just keep spawning, so it would be kind of pointless. You'd have to use it like twice, and then by that point you might as well just cast Fairy. It's in his Rolodex, nice. Alright, the big encounter, so he casts Spell. He had the magic to do it anyway. Oh, riiyak misses the Quantum Leap.
That jump is impossible.
It is difficult, for sure. But he does get past Scott Bakula. We'll just keep sending beams his direction. And let's see. Vod's going good so far. He's casting spell on the large encounters because they're a lot harder to beam than the small ones. Now he's lost beam, so we'll probably just see him cast spell on the last one, and then maybe life afterward. He could cast life before and not spell though, and then try to beam it. I suppose that's probably smarter. But I don't do those strats, so it's harder for me to remember.
Riiyak gets beat up a little bit.
Yeah, that's tight. Oh, I didn't notice Trav missed an encounter skip. Okay, we got the last scary thing. Riiyak takes the level, casts Fairy to fly over. So he has full magic bar, but he has one thing. Is he going to take the death abuse? Or because he does have a life left, or is he going to go straight after it with 1 hit point? If he's paying attention to the race, yeah, he's going for it. I think. If he's paying attention to the race, he's just going to go for it, because why not?
Oh, he's going for it. That is scary.
Alright, Trav on GP entry. And this is what I was talking about before. You want to be at least this close in any race. Like, even if things are bad and you're getting crushed, you want to be in GP when the other person's in GP, because that means if they died, somehow it's suddenly a race.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh. Oh, yeah. Struggling at the entrance.
Wrecked. Oh my goodness, what a fight.
Yep. Just 1 cycle. Yeah, no shield, why bother? Now, it does help against Dark Link, so yeah, he goes straight up to that. We'll see. Normally this fight's about 20 seconds. Maybe a little bit less, ideally. He's able to kind of cruise through it.
So he could take 1 hit from Dark Link here with the shield.
Yeah. And that is GG's to Riiyak. Final
great run.
Yeah, final race time, official time of 1:15:42.
Man, that was wild. Great run.
Yeah, very solid. Again, if you kind of followed what happened, he started off very rough. Just a really ugly start to the race. Magic Cave kind of threw him off. He got the lucky P bag in P1, and it kind of leveled out there and had the sort of race you'd expect out of Riiyak. I think he's going to be joining us here in a little bit. In the meanwhile, we see Trav is trying to get through here without losing a life. He does have 2 lives, I believe, to spare. So if things, go sideways, he's got a lot of leeway here to still finish out.
Yeah.
And hey, I believe we have Riiyak in chat. Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening to everybody.
Hey, GG's on the race. Great job. But how did you feel right there at the start?
So as soon as that happened, I could sense the interview question coming. Yeah, that was just, typical, missed my, back directional. That happens sometimes to me. And, that pretty much means Magic Cave is destroyed, and do your best.
Yeah, well, I think once you got through that, and P1 helped you out a little bit, because you got that 1 random 50 P bag. It was the P bag that should have been in Magic Cave, I suppose. And and then really just, again, kind of tracing what happened in the race, that seemed to level out a bit. Were you following what was going on at all with the race or anything?
No, I haven't really been watching the restreams or anything for this year, so I find that at least right now it's helpful to just focus on your own game and let whatever happens.
Right. But were there any other parts in the race where you felt like things were starting to get a little out of control, or was it just some... I can't even remember. Did you get any real bad encounters except for maybe the P2 to the Heart Cave? Or excuse me, the Mido one to the Heart Cave, where I think you took a road encounter.
Yeah, that was on the road. I almost made it because they gave me a fairy encounter, but didn't quite make it to P2. The walk out of P2 was okay. That was 1.5.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, they were pretty good to me for pretty much the whole run. I felt like Overworld was fine. The biggest thing I would have to say is getting all jars. The entire game. I got 1 or maybe 2 P bags.
Yeah, I remember we were comparing experience with you guys going into P2, and Trav was hanging with you for quite a while. He was at attack 3. He didn't get the bag either, and didn't get a lucky one in P1. But it was right around P2 because he was at attack 3 where we noticed it. But you actually had to kill quite a few things. Like, it's a little bit later than what I'd normally guess, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even make it out of P2 with Life 3, which I normally take during P2. And with Attack 4, it's usually not a big deal, but I actually made an intentional choice to leave P2 at a count of 4, a large count of 4, thinking ahead as getting my drop on the upstairs, like outside Red IK in P3, thinking, okay, if that's a bag, then I got nothing to worry about. But that was a jar too.
Well, that jar might have saved you a little bit of time since you kind of fell in the pit in the room before.
Yeah, this run I missed 2 out of the 3 4-tile jumps. I don't know what the deal is with that, but
yeah. And we see Trav's going for the live action kill, which he's doing. I don't know. He's getting a lot of hits in, but then he keeps jumping right onto him. So
yeah,
I think he's gonna get it, but it's not guaranteed yet. But I mean, if you're going to end the tournament, you might as well do it that way. And you guys did match up last year. I think this result was a lot closer. Although he's not done yet, so maybe I shouldn't say that.
No, this is pretty good, though. Good job, Trav, finishing it off. Oh.
Yeah. In chat, Chosen did want me to point out that you shouldn't complain about jar since you got the post eco key jar.
You're right. I did get that one. The one that mattered. I can't believe I failed eco key. That was my own fault. But, yep, that happened. I missed it a couple of times during the practice, and I thought, okay, don't let it get to you, and then it got to me. That's okay.
Yeah, P5 is, I think, where there was, like, constant little separations, but I think P5 is where you had a pretty good one, and I think Trav struggled a little bit, and it kind of just gulf of separation opened up after that. Both had really good Kasuda walks, though.
Yeah, after P5, I think I went damageless P4, damageless P6, except for the damage boost. And VOD was really good. Yeah, it was pretty good finishing up, I think. GG, Trev. Way to finish it off.
Yeah, and the official finishing time for Trav was 1:21:04. So GG's to him, and I believe he is in chat with us already.
What's up? What's up?
What up,
Hey, Trav. GG.
Jeez, riiyak.
Way to finish it off in style.
I was trying. He gave me T-Bird took a couple hits on me. Kind of messed that whole plan up.
I saw you must have had an extra life. Did you skip a death abuse or something?
Oh yeah, I skipped one in P4.
Oh yeah, so Trav, were you following the race or were you just listening to us?
Oh yeah, I was watching the whole time. I got a bag of popcorn with me, and I had my dog up on my lap, and we were having a good old time over here. Sitting by the campfire.
Now I'm only saying this because you kept typing in chat, so.
Yeah, I was watching.
Oh, okay.
I knew against an opponent like riiyak, there was very little chance for me to win, so I was watching the whole time, typing in chat, having fun, looking at all the jokes. I did not have comms on though, so I couldn't hear y'all.
Oh, that's probably good. I might have been distracted. Like the part where I'm like, well, riiyak missed eco key. Here's TravWhite, might be able to catch up like 15-20 seconds, and then immediately failed. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
I was 1 pixel too far to the right, and I was like, maybe if I hesitate just a little bit, I'll make it. And no, didn't get it.
So what did you think, Trav, if you were watching when I messed up Magic Cave, like right at the beginning?
I literally said out loud, "Do not die." So did you end up dying in P1? I couldn't tell.
No, actually, P1 was pretty good, and then I got a random 50 in P1. So the hard part in P1 for me after messing up Magic Cave was trying to figure out where the heck my XP was at, because I needed to get enough to get Attack 4, and I think I took out all the bots, and it was just enough.
Oh, nice.
A lot of
So
the
you
bots.
so you did have Attack 4.
I did, yes.
Okay. I had Attack 3. No Miracle Bag and no Magic Cave Bag. The first drop was a jar, and then I got a bag off the Eye Cave.
Yeah, things were pretty even, and it looked like, again, riiyak had a little bit better luck with P1, just from the drops, but things were pretty even, I think, until Trav, till you started to go to P2, and then it seemed like the game just decided to throw every single encounter in the world at you.
And I had the P2 walk too, even with the fairies and just muscle memory. I pressed up, and I was like, "Why did you press up?" And then I got fairies, and I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna go right at them," and it didn't work. I was so upset. I need to work on either pausing right there or hesitating or something, because I've done that twice now, and I mean, I've done it more than once, but I've done it twice in a race now, and that's just silliness. I shouldn't be doing that.
I agree, you shouldn't do that. So, and that seemed to be the big thing, honestly. Like, you had a bad start with the Attack 3, but I thought you went through Death Mountain, and even P2 I thought was pretty good. It was just the encounters just kept hitting at you over and over. But you did, you got the modified Dude Walk through Kasuto. That was nice.
Yeah, I've been practicing that, and it seems to be working for me. I don't know what else to say about that. It's been working. It's been really consistent. I like that better than the bridge walk for whatever reason. When I get those random walks, they don't work out for me. And I've been practicing the dude walk, and it's been working out. So I'm gonna stick with it for a while. I kind of had some fun in P6. I ferried the cross and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you should work on that Jarman if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, I got it. What, third try?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The second time you just flew out of the screen. That's what tends to happen if you don't know what you're trying to do exactly.
The first time I thought I was late. Second time I was really late. So I got it the third time. The P3 exit was a input malfunction, and it worked. So I got the slink and then went all the way over to the right and then down and into the cave, and it worked.
The future manip.
Yeah.
Seen it here for the first time.
I don't know about that. Got lucky.
Gosh. But there was one other thing in the race that I thought was particularly noteworthy, and that would be riiyyak's Karok fight.
I forgot about that. Did anyone count how many? Oh man,
it was a lot. I know that.
I was even with my splits, and then I was suddenly plus 19 or something. It was really quite bad.
Yeah, I was watching that on the screen, and I was like, man, I got up, I made a sandwich, and then my wife wanted something, so I went in the kitchen and got something for her, and I came back, you were still fighting Karok. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
The block room was pretty rough for you too, it looked like.
Yeah. If only I hadn't abandoned it and jumped off right away, because I got damage boosted up there and then I fell off. Yeah, Eco Key in the block room pretty much destroyed P5 for me, but I think the rest of it was okay. Got hit a couple of times.
You did the Eco Key in the block room, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Oh gosh, that could actually be a thing. I don't think it will be, but it could be.
You'd have to manipulate it. I don't think it's really doable, but yeah, who knows? Some in and out of the rooms, right?
Yeah.
Go in and out, and then all of a sudden there's a block right there? Sure. Let's do that.
like turn direction, like a certain degree into the room so that the Moa spawns from the other side or something. Some nonsense like that. Gosh. All right. Well, you're gonna have to work on it, riiyak. Whenever we think of random strats that require a whole bunch of like tassing or something, I was like, all right, riiyak, you're on it.
Got anything else, Trav, of note for your run?
No, I just want to thank you for the race. Thank you, Aaron and Wymust, for comms, and especially thank you to ZeldaSpeedRuns for hosting for us. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next year. Hopefully, I'm a little more competitive.
Well, you did great, Trav. It was a good run.
Absolutely. Did you have any other last thoughts? Wymust, I was talking a lot there.
No, that's exactly how I like it. You talk and I listen. No, I'm good. It's just great run to both you guys. It was competitive there for a good while. It was really fun to watch. GG's for both of you.
Right. Yeah,
Thanks.
GG's. And that is a good point in chat to mention before we end here. Now that riiyak has moved on, he will be going against the winner of the 4-seed Choseneer or 5-seed Justin Man 114, and they will be racing here sometime this week.
Yep.
Heck yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, GG's to riiyak and to Trav. Good luck in the next run, riiyak, and good run, Trav, this year. Hope to see you around some more for next year.
Oh yeah, I'll be around.
And I'm sure I'll see you in the chat and on it too, yourselves on comments. Thank you to Aaron and to Wymust for providing commentary, and thanks to everyone in chat for watching. This will be it for us tonight on ZSR. We've got a really, really quiet week, by and large. We've got ourselves tomorrow. The only race that might be on the schedule, pending volunteers, is a Majora's Mask Moon Crash. Full Dungeons requirement 2021 tournament loses round 3 between Greg and Turkenheimer. Now we've got the couple of Ocarina of Time randomizer qualifiers, the Zelda 2 randomizer weekly race on Tuesday, and I'm sure we'll get some more all keys matches on the schedule as they're added. But for the moment, it's a pretty quiet week. That'll be about it for us today. We're going to go over and let's go say hi to Zeke Hyland, one of my fellow CSR restreamers. He's currently playing some Link to the Past randomizer here. Casual boots, old dungeon keys. He's about 20, he's not quite half an hour in. Let's see how he's doing at that. And call it a night. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.